Right, Grace, how did we get on last week? We did, last week we did the notes on the stage, didn't we? We went over the face and the Every Good Boy Deserves Football, so you learnt all the notes on the stage and we went through some scales. Right, this week we're looking at the treble clef and the bass clef.
Right.
And, let me just start that. So we're going to look at how to draw them. We're going to look at notes in the treble clef and the stave, which are the notes that we learnt last week. And we're going to practice drawing out another C major scale. And you're going to practice drawing a stave this week as well again.
Oh.
So what we'll start with is we will go through how we draw a treble clef. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw with your ruler. One line halfway through the top line and one halfway through the line underneath. So that it's like a large stave. Good. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to draw and practice drawing a treble clef. So the way we start it is we're starting it on around the G line. Another word for the treble clef is the G clef because it circles around the G line. So what it does, it starts here, comes up, circles round to the right, back down, touches the bottom line, back up, and it peaks over the top line just slightly in a point, comes down and curls just under the bottom line. Okay? Right, let's see if you try and draw one. Lovely. Your peak is probably a little bit too high, but that was a very good first start. Very nice. Make sure your tail doesn't come down too low as well.
Those things are getting longer.
Very good. And just finish to the end of the line. So I'm just going to shut the door. Ooh.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just coming to do that. Thank you. Don't rush it. Nice points on the top. Yeah, just make sure that your loop comes further over so that it comes down into the middle of this here rather than coming on the outside of the clef. Very nice. Lovely. Right, just quickly draw one line there. Lovely. Right. Very good. I actually think our first one was the best one, even though the point was a little bit high. It's the most well proportioned. But well done, that was very good. Right. So now we're going to look into the bass clef, which we also call the F clef. We're not going to go into the notes on the bass clef too much. You'll do that when you actually do the grade 1 music theory. To start, we're just going to learn how to draw one because it's easier to learn at the same time as you're learning to draw the treble clef. So once again, a few lines down, draw yourself a large stave, just 2 lines across the middle of 2 pages. Try and make them nice and even. Lovely. Right. So when we draw an F clef, you have a choice of which way you're going to draw it. You can either draw it starting on the F line and curling round to the right, or you can start it on the F line and curl round to the left. As long as on the right hand side of your base clef you have the 2 dots either side of the F line and it starts on the F, it's alright. When you draw it, you're starting off just here. You're going to loop up, and as you loop up, you're going to just touch the top of the line. And when you come down, you don't finish on the bottom line, you finish just in the bottom space. So it's not quite touching the bottom line. And then you have your 2 dots just there. Quite simple, a bit like a funny C. You can choose which way you do it. Lovely. Very good. Very nice and neat. Well done. Right, now what we're going to do is we've tried it on a large stave. We're going to try it on a stave half of the size. So this time I'm going to get you to draw a stave slightly smaller. I'm going to show you what I mean and how to do it. So you've only done big staves so far. My personal technique would be to kind of draw where I want the lines to be before I do it, so they kind of go in the right places, because I'm drawing 3 lines in on one line of lined paper. So it's going to be very tricky to get right. So either side I've drawn little slashes so I know where I want my lines to be. Then I'm lining them up with the ruler. Just joining them across, like so. Ooh. So you can see, apart from that little bit there where I had to stop, it's all very straight and it's very even as well. Even though it's all very squished together. Right, I want you to practice that now a few lines down. Good. Very nice. That's okay. Right. What we're going to do now is we're going to practice drawing our treble and bass clefs on the smaller stave. This time, instead of just doing one treble and one bass, you can either do treble on one line and bass on the other, or you can go treble, bass, treble, bass, treble, bass. It's up to you which way you do it. I would say because you haven't got as much of a G line on this one, it might be easy to do treble on the top and bass on the bottom, just because you're going to have to curl around that for your treble, which you might find more difficult. Which way are you going to do it?
Treble, bass.
Very nice and neat, well done. Good. Remember to make sure that your pencil is always sharp. Blunt pencils on small staves doesn't always work. Lovely. Very good. Right, now that you've practiced drawing your treble clefs, we're going to go back and work on a little bit more what we did last week with the drawing of the stave and the scale. So what I want you to do again is draw a, you can choose whether you do a big one or a little one, a stave, and then draw your treble clef in where it should go on the stave, and then draw your C major scale on the stave again. Okay? Using semi-breathe notes. Can you remember what semi-breathe notes are?
The circular ones are 4 beats.
Very good. Very, very nice, very neat, very even, well done.
Ascending or descending?
You can choose whether ascending or descending. What would you like to do? Ascending? Okay. So find your middle C. Where's your middle C?
Middle.
On the stave.
Where's the C and
So there's a C, so which one is your middle C? So
This
I know
one.
you play piano, very good. When you're
Yeah,
playing the
this one.
piano, that would be your middle C, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Now that you've done that, can you label what the notes are?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to give you a worksheet now. It's practicing the treble clef and the bass clef drawing. And there's an exercise on here that just kind of goes a little bit further than what we were doing last week with the notes on the stage. So we've got the treble clef. Just ask you to tell them which notes it is in the treble clef. So I'll give you that to have a go at. Take your time. There's no rush. Lovely.
Should I do the bass clef first or the exercise?
It's up to you.
Hold on.
Remember the face. Face in the...
Yeah, it's F-A-C-E.
So what is it? Face in the...
Spaces.
Very good. And what was the lines?
Every boy deserves fun.
Fun, football, whatever F you want to start with. Very good. Very good. Lovely. Let me just go through them. Very nicely formed. Just be careful of the little wobble in if that's just because of the table on your treble clef.
It might be
But
straight.
other than that, it's been nice and straight. That one's right. 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 And that one's right. Very good. And lovely neat bass clefs as well. Well done. Lovely. Right, let's have a look at the time. Lovely. Well, thank you very much, Grace. That was a really good lesson. Just remember to practice them throughout the week for next week. Next week's our last week of learning before our course test. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.